welcome to Let's Talk Health and Wellness with Lakeitha Lewis, my sister, my TLA sister, my friend, my sis. Welcome,
Thank you.
sis.
Thank you
And
for
I
having
know
me.
our names get butchered up a lot, so you want to make sure you say it
It's
because
Wakita.
Waikitha.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know because I always call you Kiki. That's
Yeah.
what we call you, Kiki.
Right.
My sis, Kiki. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, sis, for being here
I
today.
appreciate you inviting me. Thank you.
Of course. So, we're going to be talking about what it is to lose a loved one. And we both share some of the same things. We
Hmm.
both lost our mom,
Right. Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so we know that after the fact is a lot that comes with that, a lot of pain, a lot of grief that's ongoing,
Yeah.
doesn't stop,
No.
right?
No.
Let's dive in about that. Let's
Sure.
dive in. So
Yeah.
you just give me a little bit about, your mom,
Well,
what you experienced.
I lost my mother at a very very young age. So I was 8, well,
Mm.
9 years
Ooh.
old. Yeah. And so it's really really been hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's just the pain that it never goes away. People say, time heals, and you just learn to exist.
Yes.
You learn to starting already. It's too soon,
I know. We said
but
yeah,
it's
it's
just
okay.
time. Time. It only just you learn to cope, and you learn to exist. You learn to continue to live without them. Now, being that I was so young,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to experience
Right.
the middle school, high school, graduations, proms, and all that. But my mother was a songstress because she
Mm.
could. Oh my God, she had a very angelic voice,
Mm.
and she was a seamstress. My mother sewed.
Oh, wait a minute now. So
Hey,
I didn't know
hey,
that.
hey,
So
yeah,
I just
yeah,
heard two things.
yeah,
Songs
yeah,
just because you can blow.
yeah.
You
A
have
little,
you no. You can blow. You have an
a little.
amazing voice.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, my
cut 'em
mother,
up key.
my mother, and she didn't use patterns. So
Wow.
most of majority our stuff, like my mom, I mean my dad, she sold a lot of our clothes,
Mm.
you know. So and then when I started the cutting up and stuff like that, because I
Mhm.
always had an eye for like fashion, just love clothes, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
love to put stuff together, whatever. But it wasn't until a few years ago when I was like, I would love to be able to just create my own. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
wake up today and it's something I want to wear. I just create it myself. You know what I'm saying? Besides
Mhm.
trying to go buy it or whatever. And if I
Right.
didn't like the way it looked, I can just cut it up and make it look different.
Mhm.
So, I started doing that. Start watching, YouTube or whatever. And then it was like, I would, of course you make some mistakes in the beginning, but then everybody started, it was like, cut them up, Key. I was like, oh, that sounds real good. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That name sounds real good. So it stuck.
Mhm.
And then it was like, cut them up, key. I was like, use them with the scissors and everything. And so I would just, like I said, just ideas out of my head. I never, I don't have any designs. A lot of
Right.
people would tell me, girl, why you didn't um write it down or why you didn't draw it out or whatever. I'm like, it's in my head. So
Right.
if I look at you and I see,
Mm.
how, I can pretty much cut you, not you in general, but
I know
what's
what you
your
mean.
outfit or
Mhm.
whatever by
Yeah.
your presence, your, how you look, how you
Mm.
dress, if you wear
Right.
things off the shoulder,
Mhm.
whatever I can pretty much go off of that. So, yeah, but just with the fact of, losing my mom and, her birthday, birthdays are really hard.
Yes. Oh my
Mother's Day
gosh.
is the hardest.
Yes, it is.
And just like I say, growing up, I was raised by my dad, my aunts and stuff. My dad, like I say, he's always been a part, of my life, and my aunts and stuff like that. But it's still, as a young girl,
Mhm.
being without her mom,
Yeah.
those times would roll around. And then as I got older, and I started having children because I have two,
Yeah.
adult children. Um, it was still around Mother's Day, I would become that little girl.
Yes.
So I would be withdrawn.
Yeah, I
I
can
would
relate. Mhm.
wouldn't want to be bothered, wouldn't want to deal, you know what I'm saying? So I would just be this, I would go into a shell.
And I'm listening to you say all that because same. And, and now it all makes sense because hearing you say those same things, that was me. I would go into a shell. And, and as hard as it is to know that we have children that, but you can't, it's hard to explain that you end up going into this shell and you because of your feelings and
Mm-hmm.
your emotions dealing
Mm-hmm.
with the loss and not having your
Mm-hmm.
mother here, even though you are a mother now to somebody, but you're not thinking, you're just thinking
Mm-hmm.
about that mother that you're longing for,
I'm
that you're
telling you,
missing.
that 8-year-old would show up,
Yeah.
and it would be like, the time would come around and I would just get so emotional and get in my way and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to come to the realization and say, Key, hey, you are a mother.
Right.
You have children that want to love on you, that want to, what I'm saying, do things for you. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to step outside of that
Mm-hmm.
and allow them to love you, what I'm saying, because you are
Right.
somebody's mother too.
Right.
So I was like, okay, Lord, okay, let me. And then that kind of, because it's grief comes in so many different
Oh, yes,
stages.
it does.
So I had to allow myself to allow them
Mm-hmm.
to take care of me, do
Right.
for me. So I had to come up out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to have that talk with them to tell them why.
Right. Why are
Because
you
they were,
feeling it? Because they
yeah,
don't know.
they were,
Because they, and then, and another thing, did you ever feel that because you lost your mom young. I lost my mom in my early 20s as
mm,
well, but my children never really, well, they were small when, my
mm,
one daughter was a baby and the other one, she was like around 2. So, that memory. So, do you ever feel that, like, wow, you just long wish they had had the opportunity to
absolutely,
meet her and to have a
absolutely,
relationship? And so,
absolutely.
when you see other people interacting, I know I used to be like, wow, just wish my children had the opportunity to really know who
Mm-hmm,
my mother was
mm-hmm.
because I listened to you talk about um, the singing and you cut them up key. And even for me, a lot of times I look, a lot of these things came from, because have you ever, you would sit there and you say, wait a minute, did I just do that? I sound like my mother. That was something, or my mom did that. And you don't even realize that you sometimes feel like in the same.
Well, like I said, because I was so young,
Yeah.
I guess I really don't know,
Right.
but I do know that her presence, she shows up.
Mm.
Now, she showed up with my children when they were young.
Wow.
She showed up, especially for my son, because he's the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her first grandchild. So she showed up a lot
Mm-hmm.
when he was a little baby. I literally had to tell her to
Wow.
stop
Mm-hmm.
because it was certain things that he was, certain reactions and responses that he would do.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it wasn't anybody but,
But
what I'm
her.
saying, but it had to be
Right.
an angel because, or God, because he wouldn't have reacted or do those certain type of things,
Mm.
you know. So, and it's like, okay, you have to be in tune to understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that could say that the spirit world, the afterworld, or believe in angels, believe in all of that. You have to be connected
Yes.
to realize, I'm not just pulling this out of my tailbone, you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
It's
This is real, real
right.
talk. But yeah, just doing the stuff that I'm doing now, I
Mm.
just I just think about it. I was like, oh, man,
Wow.
I wish I had my mom
Mm.
to be able to like call her and say, hey, or her seeing what I
Yeah.
got going on, be like, baby, I'm so proud of you. I see what you're doing. I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm big on people and
Yes.
people that's in my circle and
Mm.
celebrating, especially when it comes to birthdays. People
Yes.
know how I am about everybody's birthday, especially mine. But everybody's birthday. I
Mhm.
just believe in celebration. I
Yeah.
believe in building relationships. And I'm
Memories.
so, that is
Memories.
the biggest thing.
Memories.
So that is the
Yes.
biggest thing for me. So um my circle, I have a huge circle. I'm just blessed. I'm blessed. When it
Yes.
comes to people
Hmm.
and me being around, I'm truly, truly, because I've been discerned and God has placed certain people in my space.
Right.
And it's like I know, you know what I'm saying? I know where it comes from. I know who sent these people. And
Right.
I really do believe in that. And I love the people in my circle.
Yeah.
I know how to weed, I know when they're not for me,
Right. And that's so important.
and again, you just have to have that discerning spirit to be able to, some people may look at it as, nonchalant or
Hmm.
antisocial or whatever the case may be, but I know where it is and I know
Hmm.
where it's coming from. It's coming straight from that gut. It's coming from that, uh-uh, this ain't for you, or this person is
Exactly.
not for you, or as they say, it's seasonal. We have seasonal people, we have
Absolutely.
lifetime people, you have temporary people. So regardless, so you have to meet them where they are.
Hmm.
If they come into your life and you thinking it's supposed to be a long lasting relationship and it lasts 30 days, 30 minutes, you're looking like, whoa, just wait a
Hmm.
minute. But they weren't supposed to be there. They were
Right.
supposed to show up, lesson learned, and keep it
Keep it
moving.
moving.
But I'm just, like I said, so thankful and blessed that I have been able to, the people that's around me have been around me, and I know that they will consistently be. They show up, they
Right.
support, and family. I have a huge family. I have a loving and supporting family, but family is not always blood.
Right.
Family is not always blood.
Exactly. I agree.
And I have gained a whole set of family members, just
Yes.
being a part of, TLA, the age model age that we are.
Yes.
We both
TLA.
share
Shout
everything.
out to Tina.
I've been in this for 8 years. I've been around
Yes.
for 8 years. And just the beautifulness
Hmm.
of the men and the women, but the sisterhood that we share. There's no
Hmm.
competition. We're not trying to compete against each
No.
other. We're loving, we're supporting, we're
Right.
encouraging, and that's what we're lacking as a people, as women, as sisters, black women. We don't get a lot of that. They
Right.
think it's all about, when it's a bunch of women, they think it's all about the competition, or it's catty, or no, we
No.
don't even have that.
And again, you never know, as I always say, what a person is going through, then been through. So you need to be kind. Be
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
because listen to your story, my story, and we know it's other people out there that are like us,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And you don't know that one thing I
Yeah.
always said
Yeah.
that you could say to push a
Yeah.
person over or pull them back. You don't know that person could have been sitting home all day crying, right? I mean, at the end.
Mhm. Right.
And that one thing you could say could send them over the edge.
Right.
So, you have to be so careful because, like you said, look what's coming up.
Yeah.
You know,
And
we,
I haven't even scratched the surface.
mm-mm,
'Cause I know we all have a story, but I haven't even scratched the
right,
surface on and that's another show for another time.
right,
But it's just the fact that, like I said, you never know what a person has gone through
right,
just by looking at. I look good.
right.
I can fix it up.
Yes,
You
you,
know what I'm
oh,
saying?
yeah, we
We can
know.
fix, we can clean up. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? We put our big girl panties on. We just walk with our
Mhm.
chests out, and we're
Yeah,
like, okay, I'm going out here. But knowing that we're hurting on the inside, so we have to take the time, like you're
yeah.
saying, be kind. And if you have people, check on your people.
Check once,
Everybody
yes.
is not okay. I don't care
No.
what they say.
Or what social media say or look like.
Right. And
You
if you
know?
know that person, if you
Exactly.
have a relationship with that person, you know.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
You know when it gets close to that time, and I know that the people that I know that are close,
Mm-hmm.
it's a few of us. We
Yeah.
all in the same.
Oh yeah.
And I know,
Yeah.
shoot, let me check on my sister,
Absolutely.
I love you. And
That's
I've
it.
heard people say, I don't know what to say. It's not I don't just be there.
Yeah.
You don't have to say because you will never understand unless you are in our shoes and
Most
you
definitely.
lost your mother. It's nothing you can say.
Nope.
And for me, I lost my mom and I lost my dad.
Right.
So going back to what you were saying about dates, You know, Mother's Day come, you kind of like brace yourself when it's coming, you know. Well, first March,
Let's start there.
let's start in March, okay? You
My mommy's birthday is on the 24th. You
see,
know,
and
so
see, and for me, March the 17th is my father's birthday on St. Patrick's Day.
hmm
My mother passed on my dad's birthday,
yeah.
March the 17th. March the 24th was my mother's homegoing service. So we listen to all these
So the
dates.
connection,
So it's a
yeah,
connection. We
yeah,
associate all these dates.
yeah.
And then, okay, let's not even get to when May get here. May and then Mother's Day and Father's Day,
Right,
right?
right.
And speaking of which, you took all that pain
hmm
and everything that's here,
hmm
right? And you turned it into something greater, something that you do for those people that are like us
Yeah,
who moms are no longer here.
yeah.
Because, every year for Mother's Day, you always see people celebrating mothers. Happy Mother's Day. They have
hmm
brunch, all types of events. But you do something different. You have a brunch for those who have lost their mothers.
And this year, actually coming up, will be my fifth
Mm.
year, and it start like literally. I tell this story because it's been right about 18, 19 years ago. One of me and my coworkers, it was storming, and we
Mm.
couldn't leave the job.
Mm.
So we were just trying to wait till the storm passed, and we were
Mhm.
talking. And I'm always talking about Mother's Day or whatever. And she had we shared that she lost her mother as well.
Mm.
And I said, you know what? I said we should. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a brunch. I said we're gonna dress up. I said we're gonna have our little hats and pearls and stuff. And I said we're gonna name it Back Down Memory Lane. I
Mm.
said we're just gonna go and just celebrate, just talk about it. She's like, Key, you should do that. I said, you know what? I think I will.
Mhm.
Each year would pass by, and I just couldn't get up the strength to do it. Like, I don't know what it was, but fast forward, starting, 5 years ago, I had
Mhm.
mentioned it. Don't mention anything to Tina if it's something that you want to do.
Oh yeah.
So I
Tell you
mentioned
not to
to,
say that.
I said, you know what? I said, I've been thinking about this, it was a vision of mine, to do this. She said, well, do it. I said, well, I don't even know if anybody will show up or who. She said, it don't matter. She started with the chat.
Mm.
So I put it in the chat.
Mhm.
And when I tell you the number of people that were actually just in our circle that had lost their moms,
Mhm.
it blew me away.
Mm.
And I said, well, okay. I said, well, I'll put it out there. We'll set up. And what I said was we're gonna do a brunch called Missing Our Moms.
Mhm.
I say for those of us who no longer have their mothers. I say because around that time, a lot of people become withdrawn. They become
Yes.
sad and depressed and
Mhm.
all of that because of course they don't have their mothers, and
Right.
so they don't, like, again, they don't want to be bothered. They rather, be doing nothing. So
Right.
I said, you know what? I said I'm gonna do this the weekend before Mother's Day to
Mhm.
give opportunity for those that want to come out and share, and we're gonna celebrate them, and we're going to say their names.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay. So we did it the first time. And what I do is at the end, I have everyone to write their names on the
Mhm.
balloons,
Yes.
and they release them all
Mhm.
together. When I tell you, throughout the whole service, I say service, but the whole event, nothing gets you until we get to the end.
Yes. And I know cuz I have been there and I'm going to be there again this year. I
Yeah.
made sure it is nothing scheduled on that day cuz it is oh my
It's
goodness.
there. I
It
mean,
is
it's there because people want to say, well, I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be
mm-mm,
crying. I say
no.
that's not what it's for.
Right.
Now, yes, will you share tears? Of course,
Right.
because you're thinking about your mom.
Mhm.
But I also say that everybody in this room, if you are here for this reason, gets it.
Mhm.
Your loved ones, you have people that support you, you have people that's there for you, but they just don't get it.
They don't.
Don't take away from the love that they have for you, and they want to be
Right.
there for you, but you don't
Mhm.
get it because you're
Right.
not in my shoes.
Right.
I appreciate you, but you don't get it.
Yeah.
So when I look out there in that audience and I say, I understand, you get it,
Yeah.
or I get it,
Mhm.
that means we're here.
Right. Yeah.
Because whether I was 8 or 28,
Mhm.
28, whatever the age may be, there's still a loss.
It is still a lot,
So
and you get it, and you feel the pain
right.
because you have sent me messages, and what because all it takes sometimes somebody see a post, but again the connection is there
Mm-hmm.
because it's almost like you could, oh, I know what time
Yeah.
you're hurting, and you have extended to me. I remember you told me, look, I'm here, sis. You want to talk?
Absolutely.
I'm here. And when
Absolutely.
I came to the brunch, I never forget, that was my first time, and I didn't know what to expect,
Mm-hmm.
and it was amazing. And I told everybody, I was like, I told everybody about that brunch. I said it is a different experience. It's something that if you understand you going through what we're going through,
Mm-hmm.
it's a connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you said, that balloon release,
Mm-hmm.
when we started writing and then we all went outside,
It's
whew,
it's healing for me. It's therapeutic
mm,
because again, I've been, like I say, now going on, it's just amazing, but going on 5 years of
yeah,
doing it, and that's my baby.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I look forward to doing this every year.
And
And
you
it's
got it
not
down.
for
Yeah,
just women.
yeah.
I know we do it around Mother's Day because that's what it's about, but
Right. It's
we all come from a woman.
right.
So if you are a man and you've lost your mom, then of course this is for you as well.
Right.
And like I said, it's just being there and celebrating their lives, the legacy they leave behind. I tell people, I say, bring something that's significant, bring something,
Mm-hmm.
something memorable, so you can take pictures with that. I do T-shirts. The one that the
Yes,
shirts that
and
I have
and
on, right?
yes, and I have this one right here, this shirt right here, and I love it. It has the wings on it, and it says
Yeah,
yes. And that was your second,
this was the
the
second one.
second annual
Yeah.
shirt right there.
So, and it's like, and I created these shirts. You know what I'm saying? I print them, I press,
Hmm.
I do everything
Everything.
myself.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just like I said, I look so forward to this event. And I get, of course you get to be like, okay, nobody's buying tickets yet, nobody's no this and that and that. And then at the end, and I look around that room and I'm like,
Because you get sold out.
wow.
You end up like, people wait to the last minute.
Right, right.
And then I have been one of those people. Look, I admit, and it's not because I know it's
Of course,
there,
of course.
but we get so with everything else.
Life
But
be life,
life be
yes.
life. But I know what's coming. I'm like, okay, I like this year. I said, nope. Oh, it's already in my phone, my
Right, right,
calendar,
right.
reminder. Look, nothing is I'm gonna be there
Yes,
because I
lots of
would not
people.
miss it. And because I've been sharing it and I've been
Hmm.
telling everybody about it. You need to come.
Yeah,
You need to come.
it's like I said, it's a healing
It
for
is.
me, to continue to do it. It was a
Right.
vision for mine. This is my baby. So, each year,
Mm.
I'm not, and it's not about the numbers for me.
No.
Whether I have one person in there, two people in there, or 500, it's not about the numbers for me, but it's about your reasoning for being there. And it's
Right.
to celebrate our moms that are our heavenly angels that are looking out and over us, and just to say their names. My mother's name was Jacqueline Elaine Lewis. And I'm going
Mm.
to say her name and I'm going to
That's right.
celebrate her every chance I get.
That's right. You better. And mine was Laura Agnes Jackson, and they called my mother AJ. AJ, look, AKA the lady in red, because my mom used to model.
Okay,
My
okay.
mom did shows and stuff back in Baltimore, growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And it again, a lot of times we wonder where we get these
So,
things from. And I
yeah,
had no
yeah.
idea, and now as I'm getting older, I get from people, they tell me all the time,
Right.
wow, you have your mother's smile,
Yeah.
oh,
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 yeah.
your
Oh,
mom.
yeah.
And and it's funny because even with the shirts, growing up, my mom used to cut up and do shirts and the now stonewashed jeans.
Yeah.
My mother was doing that with bleach back then
Back,
and taking a
right.
Q-tip and writing and putting my mother used to do all of that.
It's a cycle.
And so when I
Everything
start
is a
seeing
cycle.
like, wow, that's where I get a lot of my creativity.
Hmm.
I get a lot of the things, fashion and all the, and I'm like, wow, and sometimes I sit and I just smile and I think about her, and I was just reminded a few days ago, because with everything that's coming up, was like,
Hmm.
she wouldn't want you to be sad. She would want you to, you know, to be happy and not, but it's, but again, it's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
It's easier said than done because when I want to pick up that phone and I can't call her, because that's one person that I could talk to, or I call and she would say, "What's wrong?"
Yeah.
And I'm
And
like, "It's nothing wrong." Yes, it
yes,
is.
it is. Yeah. And like I say, the fact, and that's one of the things too that I look at because I didn't have that.
Right.
I had, my stepmom, I had my aunts and stuff like that, but
Wasn't the same.
it's not
Not the
the
same.
same.
Yeah.
It is not the same. And I missed out on a lot of that.
Right. And so it's different. So I see what, because it is a different stages. So,
Mm-hmm.
you lost your mom, what you said you was 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost my mom. I was in my early 20s, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just talking to another friend. She just lost her mom.
Uh-huh.
So and this comparison, like the years, we was talking about, she was like, oh, her mom was there. She was there for her children when they
Right.
when they graduated high school,
Right.
and one was married, all those stages. Whereas also each one of us was able to get some more and some not as much
Right.
as the other person,
Right.
but it's still there, and I finally just started being able to like look at pictures because I would break down.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even like see a picture of her. And even still, like I just started, like I would post, when that time come, I like to put her picture up there.
Mm-hmm.
And the picture that I always use is the last picture I took of her on Mother's Day.
Okay.
And she was in white and red.
Okay.
And, I remember clear as day, I was like, come on, mom, let me get this picture. And she was like, okay, and she's posing and smiling and so my sister, she said the same thing. She was like, and my sister, she's older than me. And she
Mm-hmm.
said, I really, it's just her and I miss mom. I said, I know, I do too. And I told her that we're going to be doing the show.
Mm-hmm.
And, I said, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it together because I broke like 2 years ago, my niece. Have you seen the pictures that they can do when they add somebody in the picture?
Yes.
My niece,
Yes.
she surprised my sister and I was back home visiting in Baltimore, and she said, I got something for you. So we sat there on the couch and she gave us something to open up. And so we opened it up. It's like a picture in a frame. And it was a picture of me, my sister, and my mom. Like now, she put
Yeah.
us all together. And
I know it. I know.
I just broke because, I miss,
Of course.
all of
Of
those
course.
moments.
Absolutely. And like I said, and that's why, it when you see this young generation, you see how they treat their mothers, what I'm saying,
Right.
that disrespect. We can't say what has gone on in their household or their
Right.
relationship, what type of relationship they had
Mm-hmm.
with them,
Right.
but it's that's your mom. We
Yeah.
only this is in this lifetime there are no do-overs.
None.
We only get one. There
Mm-hmm.
are no do-overs.
Right.
So like we were talking earlier, you have to be kind. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be nice,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to your elders and like your
Mm-hmm.
parents or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can disagree, but you can't don't be disrespectful about it.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And when I see that, I cringe
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, yo, I don't even have my mom. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to have a disagreement, if I want, I don't even have that.
Right.
I wasn't even able to experience
Mm.
that. And you showing your
Yeah.
natural, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying,
And
out
just
here
being
using it in public, and then
disrespectful.
you being
Right.
disrespectful.
That's
That's
not.
yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
yeah. I don't get that either.
That's crazy.
I mean, I tell people all the time. Look, I would do anything to have my mother still
Facts.
here. You know,
Facts.
and it's just like yesterday. Remember the last conversation. Yes, I told her I loved her. I
Mm-hmm.
said, I love you, mom. I told her she was happy I was coming home to visit.
Mm-hmm.
I had tickets for Easter to come up, and she was like, okay. I told her I loved her. And that was it. Somewhere things took a turn for the worse in the middle of the night. And then I got the call the next
Mm-hmm.
day that I needed to come home. Even then, I still didn't think
Of
that
course.
she was going to be,
Right,
I said, oh,
right.
she's going to be fine. And then when I got there and seen her
Yeah,
laying in that state
yeah.
is when it was starting to hit, and even then I didn't want to believe it
Of
because
course not.
we always say, did you ever just say, well, you were younger, but I don't know what I'd do without my mom. That was my thing. I don't know what I'd do if I ever lost my mom. I used to say things like that,
Hmm.
and when
And
that
see, and
time
a lot of those who
came,
like even opportunities like that, I didn't even get an opportunity to see
right,
any of that
exactly, I
because
know,
again, just being that child and
right,
like you said, and seeing her in that state,
mm-hmm,
that's like you're trying to grasp and you're trying to comprehend what
right,
is really going on. But I do remember because I was old enough.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do remember. And my mother, she had a sense of humor. And like I say, she was the auntie. She was that auntie. As my girl Nisa, she has that picture, that T-shirt. That auntie. My mother was that auntie. That everybody loved. She was the favorite aunt. So, it was a big loss for everybody.
So have anybody ever told you like you look like your mom or
Oh,
things that your
baby.
mom
Oh,
did?
baby.
Your mom used to do
I
that.
side by side pictures, and like I said, I only have old pictures of her as well. But the side by sides are mind blowing because
Wow.
it's the smile, it's the eye, the look, the whole face, and then I put my picture on my mom's picture, and then I added my daughter's picture, and it's like, yo, that bloodline is what I'm saying, it's there,
Mm,
it's really there. But yeah,
wow.
it's just it's hard, but like I say, life goes on, and we start to do things in our adult life, and like you're saying, and wanting to share those things with our moms,
Yeah.
and she's not here. But I think with me doing this brunch,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a part of healing. Although grief, because I had to go, I started, and this was at a longer, older when I got older,
Right.
doing grief support. At my church, they used to have grief support,
Wow.
and again, there was no judgment, regardless of what you were grieving for. Everybody in there was for the same reason. It was for grief.
Right.
So I was able to open up then because a lot of time I wouldn't be able to speak.
Mm.
When
Oh
people
yeah.
like say,
Yeah.
where's your mom? My mom is deceased, so she's passed away. She's no longer here. Oh my God, what happened? I wouldn't even go into details.
So
For
that's how that now you're able to open up more and
Yeah,
be able to get out because you know what people are going through, you know what they're
yeah,
experiencing, you know what they're feeling.
yeah,
But your brunch, because I know some of our viewers are probably interested, they would love to be able to attend,
yeah,
support.
absolutely.
How can you attend your brunch?
Um, it's actually on Eventbrite, and
Okay.
it's called Missing Our Moms, MOM, Missing Our Moms, and it's going to be held on May the 3rd from 1 to 5 at the Colorful Creations studio out on Marietta Park, 1148, I think the address is. Franklin Gateway. It's in Marietta. Very beautiful event hall. But shouts out to Akella, one of our sisters, another sister in
Yes,
TLA. Like I
Akela.
said, we everywhere, all over, at business women. But yes, please, if anybody is listening and they want to have something to do, even if you haven't lost your mom, if you want to, if you know somebody that knows somebody, you can give them the information and just come out and just support them, and
Right.
celebrate with them. It's May the 3rd from 1 to 5, 1148, Suite C, Franklin Gateway, and that's in Marietta, Georgia. It's called Missing Our Moms. And like I said, it's on Eventbrite. Or you all can hit me up on Instagram
Yes.
at
I was about to say, like, okay,
you can hit me
I'll
up.
your social media
You can hit
handles.
me up.
Okay.
It's Cut 'em Up Key, which is KUTEMUPKE on Facebook and IG, or you can hit me up on my Instagram at BORNSTR916. So that's my Instagram and my Facebook. But yes, please come out, and let's just celebrate their lives, our mothers, our angels, and say their names and just have a
Yes.
good old fashioned time. It's gonna be a beautiful. I have a speaker, I have a poet, a spoken word
Oh,
artist,
it's gonna be nice. I
and
cannot wait.
one more thing. Each year, God places these people on my heart,
Okay.
and when I call them, they've either lost their mother,
Mhm.
recently or in
Okay.
the past or whatever. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay, I see what you're
Right.
doing. Or I meet somebody and I'll tell them about my event. They're like, well, you know what? I just lost my mom last year, or I just lost my mom 6 months ago. And I'm like, okay, Lord. So I know there's a purpose.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's
know
definitely
if
a purpose.
I'm supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, you
I
are.
know
You
I'm
are.
supposed to
Yes.
be doing this. So I'm just so grateful and so thankful. Thank you, sis, for
You're
again
welcome.
allowing me to come today to share my story,
Of
a little bit
course.
of it,
Yes.
and to let the people know that our Mother's Day does not actually have to be a sad occasion.
No.
It can be an occasion of celebration, for our angels. And they can come out like there's food because it's a brunch. There
Make
is
make
food,
sure.
there's
Okay.
entertainment. My
Uh-huh.
grandson is he's on there this year because he
Okay.
sings. So my grandson is on there. Bo Ward, who's gonna be the spoken word
Okay.
artist, and Monica Reed,
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna be our speaker. So it's gonna be beautiful.
Okay, and so they have all your information so
Yeah,
they can go and follow up and, and see, and so they can go ahead and attend, right?
absolutely,
And also
absolutely.
check you out about to cut them up, key, all those good things.
Yes,
But thank you
ma'am.
so much, sis. Again, I
I
appreciate you
appreciate you.
for being here and thank you. I definitely want to send some love to my sister, Tawana. Um, I know it's hard for you as well. Shout out to you, sis. And again, thank you. And also give a shout out to Iconic Voice for supporting me again with these beautiful scrubs and KKMG also.
Nice,
Thank you so much.
nice.
All right. Thank you.